Hey everybody, John here from IncomeMesh.com, and in this video I want to go ahead and start walking through Landingy, one of the, I think I said that right, Landingy. It's a silly name, but it's a promising looking page builder, and in my ultimate comparison guide post about all the different page builders you should be considering in 2018 and beyond, Landingy is one that has gone through a lot of updates, and I want to go ahead and give you my first impressions of signing up for a new account and going through creating my first landing page and giving you my honest opinion as I'm going through the process, okay? And it's very timely that I put this video out here today, because if we go over here to their Black Friday deal, which is a very cool looking landing page as well, and you'll notice down here at the corner, it does say that they created it using Landingy. I certainly hope they did, right? But you can see here, Black Friday is coming, and as a geek, I can't help but think of the Game of Thrones episode of, winter is coming here, but we've got Black Friday is coming in 16 days, so there's going to be some sort of a deal going on for that. So if you're looking for a new landing page builder, or maybe you're looking at investing in your first landing page builder, this is a piece of content that you're going to want to watch to the very end, okay? Let's go ahead and dive into it. So all I've done at this point, I've signed up with my email address, I've just put in a few bits of personal information, and now we are here. And this is my first time really walking through this software, so we're going to get the true, honest feel for how this is for new marketers. And as we can see here, we're on step 3 of 6, which is selecting our template. We'll then customize the landing page, publish the landing page, and get the leads after that, right? That is the ultimate goal here. So as we see here, we're just presented by a very beautiful, clean interface, which I'm very, very impressed with this. I've seen a lot of these stock photos on other page builders as well, which is not a problem, not a fault of Landingy's. And if you look over here on the left-hand side, you can see that you have a bunch of different categories and filters and tags to identify appropriate landing pages for you. So if you're in real estate, I'm going to assume if I type in real estate, boom, I guess that's real estate. Okay, here we go. Here's clearly a real estate example here. Clear value for your customer. You find your new home today. Awesome. So this would be very easy to use if you have client services, I can imagine. So let's go ahead and let's pick one of the templates here, because we don't need to start from scratch. That's not necessary. I'm just going to scroll through here and find something that I like. Really are a lot to look at here. So we can see the goals. So you not only look from an industry perspective of business, automotive, you can also see what the purpose of it is in the funnel. Is this an event sign up? And boom, here you got a bunch of event signups. So these are more like live events or webinars, things of that nature. You've got webinar signups specifically, ebook download pages. This is very, very interesting. So let's go ahead and say we want to sell an ebook. And let me find one that I like. Okay, this is a good looking one. So when you click preview, you should be able to see this in full screen. You also have a toggle here between desktop and mobile. Wow, okay, that's a very nice clean way of showing it. And you also see here, this isn't just a single page that you're importing. You're actually importing the main page to download for free. I'm sorry, well, here's the main page where you can put your information in. I'm assuming this is probably, boom. It's a sign up form here, and then once they've sent it through, it's going to go to the thank you page. So let's go ahead and see how easy this really is to use. And we're going to do that by saying use template. What do you want to call your landing page? And I'll call this convert example landing page. And we're going to start editing. So far, very easy to use. This is a hosted solution. This is not a WordPress plugin at this point. There may be a WordPress plugin. We'll find out by the end of the video. You can see it's loading everything possible as it's loading up the builder. Okay, so automatically this feels intuitive, feels easy to use. You've got a fold line. Interesting. So you can actually see where the page is going to fold, so you can make sure you put the most important information above the fold, as they call it. Okay, so you can put videos in. Let's just pretend to put a video down here. Put a video in here. Let me grab a video real quick. Okay, so I grabbed a video that I did a live stream on recently, and we're going to not autoplay. Let's include the controls, no related videos, no title, save and close, and see how that renders. Where'd it go? Oh, here's my video. So this is very drag and drop. It looks like it's one of those pixel perfect editors, which is not a bad thing, but it's one that I haven't had a good experience with. What I mean by that is Pixel Perfect editors is where you can drag it to a specific pixel, but it may not be as block and column and row centric. And when it comes to responsive screen sizes, I have had some struggles in the past. I'm thinking Builderall. I've played with that all in one platform before, and that had a difficult editor to work with. So we'll kind of see how this looks when we get into different mobile responsiveness. So I see here these sections. You can take this little slider and just add padding, which is super intuitive. I love that. So let's say we want to add this here and include additional padding down here. Double click to set the video. All right, the video is set. Let me see if I hit the preview button here, how it's looking so far. Okay, great. So this is the video I expected to see show up here. So it looks good. And so far, I'm really liking the design of this just by default. Let's go ahead and go back to the editor. And that was quick and easy. I'm curious here why this label is showing code. You would think, I wonder if I clicked something here. Didn't intend to. Download now, and then what happens when you click it? Let's go ahead and preview this. Okay, so somehow the code got put in there instead. Now let's go ahead and update the cover art here. Everything is still functional. What is Learn More? Okay, Learn More just takes you further on down the road. But it's nice, giving the viewer two different buttons right there, gives them the chance to vote with their mouse clicks, and that's a good thing. So now we're going to go ahead and change the image here, and let's put in my own ebook mockup. Okay, so you got free images as well. This is interesting. So I can go into electronics, and okay, so they have their own stock photos that you can pull in and import. That's nice feature. On click, you can decide what happens to the image when you click on it. Right now, none is what I want. So let's go ahead and upload an image here. Okay, so I found a little image I'm happy with. I'll go ahead and hit open on this. And it's going to pull up a mock-up I made the other day. So far, very intuitive. We'll select it, save and close. Okay, there we go. So now we have our image here, and this is very draggable. This is very interesting. I'll be curious to see how this looks when I go into a different screen size, which looks like I can do here. Okay. So we got landing page to download your ebook, and then the thank you page. I'll also need to update this so we can see how it looks on mobile or desktop. So far, it looks good. It does look like there's some interesting pieces about the responsiveness. But I see the video showed up nicely. I've got a lot of white space down here underneath the book. Let me see what's going on there. And I'll do that by going over to this desktop icon here. Okay, so that's all that white space. That's understandable. That's just the way the cookie crumbles on this one. And let's see if I can expand the size just by dragging. Now that's nice. So I can fill up a bit more space here just by dragging it through. You can see what we're doing is actually creating overlay of padding. So there's actually negative margin here where this is moving over into a different column. But with the drag and drop, it's very easy to manage. Let's just check that out one more time. Okay, I like this. This is looking great. Let's go ahead and flip over to the thank you page and do the same thing, adding the same image in here. First, we'll remove the text. We'll change the book over to this book. Let's kind of do similar sizing. Thank you. And then let's go ahead and see what happens. The action, let's change the action we want to happen on this click here. Let me move myself out of the way. And this is true first time using this, so this is a very an honest approach here. Let's see here. How do I adjust settings? There we go. Redirect, file download. Okay, great. So you can actually host your own files. Like you can actually put the ebook here and not even have to go into WordPress to set it up. I'll have this currently just go to my homepage. And additional options. Okay, great. So you can add UTM parameters, and those basically allow you to track what's going on in Google Analytics based on what buttons they click. So we'll go ahead and save that. Good to go. Let me preview this as well. It bothers me that the label this showing up as code. So I'm going to hit save and preview. Okay, so even though, let me go to the thank you page. Okay, so even though it's showing code in the editor, it's showing up correctly on the preview mode. So that's strange. That's an interesting choice there. This looks like it's not exactly a front-end editor like Thrive Architect is. And I'll go ahead and leave a link in the description to my Thrive Architect review as well to get kind of a side-by-side comparison. This is definitely that hosted platform. It feels a bit more like a ClickFunnels, which is not a bad thing. It's not necessarily my personal preference, but it's looking easy to use. So let's go ahead and be happy with this. Let's publish. Okay, so landing page has been published. So they're hosting their own landing pages here. You can also click the change domain icon here, where you'd probably have a subdomain for your own website. So you could add your domain. Now this is going to be where you have to talk to your web host or change your DNS and do some other techie things. Yes, you'd create a subdomain. So if I'm incomemesh.com, I might create pages.incomemesh.com, and that would link to these landing pages I'm building in Landingy. It's a requirement, with the whole internet, the way that works. You can't have incomemesh.com look at WordPress for some of the pages and then look at Landingy for other pages. So if you want to have a consistent brand where it's all incomemesh.com / blah, 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 this would be not the tool for you. But I'm not going to count it out yet. Let's go ahead and keep walking through here. And don't have any domain yet. Okay, so I'm going to skip over this because that's not too necessary to adjust my... Here we go. So if I click this, it should pull up. So obviously this is not the prettiest URL. We should be able to edit what the URL is. It's going to load up the interface again. So what I'm looking for here is when I hit publish, do I have the option to actually change what the slug or what the URL is? So if I go to change domain one last time, what I want to see, okay, so you can adjust the path here. So we could say free ebook download, save changes. And there we go, domain is active, so we are set. Now, what I want to do, let's check out our actions here. We can run tests. So let's do that real quick. Let's run a test, and let's see if we're going to be able to split test what we do here. So we can copy the page, make a new landing page, or an existing landing page, and then split test them against each other. So let's change the headline here. We'll copy the one we have. Okay, so we have version 1 we just made, and now let's go ahead and make some edits to this guy. Edit. And this is a great feature, being able to do split testing with a copy of the existing page with making small tweaks versus a total redesign. That's something that Thrive Optimize also does. So very, very cool. So let's go ahead and just change this here. Landing page to download your ebook. So we'll say, let's actually make some example copy here. So not the most professional of copywriting. I'm still working on my copywriting skills. But what I love about this is you can just literally drag and drop the text around here. Probably even do something like this. Make it a full width. And let's make this extend the entire padding of the page. Now we can bring this down. And let's even, can I control click? Okay, it looks like you have to select one thing at a time. And let's drag this up, drag this up, drag this up, drag this up. So now we have a different layout, a different headline, but the rest is the same. And what I could probably do is have less padding here. So now the fold line is going to be the same. It's going to move me over as well. So let's preview how this looks now. So I want to see how that fold line really works. Interesting. So I'm curious about this fold line here because clearly it's not folding at that point. You know, the page does extend down further. I wonder if that's just a standard recommendation, but then if you, like I did, I removed some of that padding at the bottom. So now it's folding much higher. So we scroll down, you can see the parallax in the background there. I could go through and update this, but you know, we get the idea here. What I want to do is let's check on this actual form settings. Do I need to set up the integration here? Integrations. Great. So here you can see all the different integrations we have with this tool. And I see they do have MailerLite, which is what I'm currently using, Drip, ConvertKit. Looks like they have everything you could want. Do they have Kartra? It would make no sense to have Kartra. Okay. Then autoresponder. You can even, oh wow, you can even set up the email you respond back as soon as they sign up. Okay, conversion code for your Facebook pixel. So super intuitive. Let me go ahead and set the integration up with MailerLite. I'll go ahead and just pause the video real quick, but let me show you what I would need to do. So simply put in your API list and the mailing list name, and that's going to put them into that group whenever they subscribe. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Alrighty, so I went into MailerLite, I grabbed my API key, I put it into the integration section, and it quickly pulled up all my groups from MailerLite so I could appropriately tag the subscribers, and I went ahead and saved that, so we should be good to go there. And now we have an integration set up. I'm going to remove the company name. I don't care for that. And then process my personal data. Sure, we'll leave that in there as well. Looks good. And we've already shown you how to adjust that. Let's also add in something new. Let's add an icon to the left of this guy here. Okay, so we have an icon, and we're going to adjust the color to make this white. That's pretty easy. What is the heart? Okay, you can even save the favorite colors. So kind of like global colors, you can save favorite colors. I will add that to my favorites. We can adjust what the icon is by change. And great, they have searchability. Looks like they have the same icon set that are found in other builders like Thrive, which is very good. And let's go ahead and put a book here. So let's type for book. Boom. Got a good looking book. So now we have fill in the form to download your free ebook. Now what I'm curious about, let's go to mobile, because just this drag and drop is freaking me out how easy it is to adjust the location and layout of something. Ah, see, there you go. This is the problem I have with drag and drop builders, and I'll just be honest with you here. Drag and drop builders oftentimes means that you need to do a full redesign for the mobile page versus the desktop page. So if I go to desktop, it looks like this. If I go to mobile, it can look totally different, like accidentally put the book down here. Okay, well that's good. At least they have some control. So it looks like you can move it within the section, but if I move out of the section, it doesn't let you do that. So you have design control within here. Looks like you can even change the size of the icon based on which view it's in. So it's powerful, but what it does is it does make you really look at desktop view first and then mobile view and potentially make some significant changes across each one. Okay, so let's go ahead and publish this. And let's go ahead and test it. So we will let's exit. And now we have our two different versions. And let's start the test. So it looks like it automatically is putting half the traffic into my original, half the traffic into the new one. If we look at the settings, we can preview what they look like. Now, I will say, I did not set up the MailerLite account on the first one, so let's hope we get the second one so we can go through a full test. And let's go ahead and run the test. So, to go to landing pages, and let's test this guy out. So it looks like it allowed me to keep that slug. Okay, so I got variant number 1, so I'm not going to be able to load this in. Let me go into a incognito window and see if I can load up the variant 2. You're always crossing your fingers when you do this. Okay, great. Whew. So we got variant 2 on the incognito window. We got variant 1 on the standard window. Let's just kind of take a look at this and let's play with the responsiveness as we're going down here. So it looks good from this side. We see our icon on the left. We see our text. We see the forms with only the fields I asked for from MailerLite. Now let's do one of these where we put it side width, and let's test both of these simultaneously by dragging over here See, here's again. This isn't really a fault of Landingy. It's a design choice. And what I mean by that is you can see here as I drag this over, it went from desktop mode into mobile mode, but I didn't really design the mobile mode all that detailed. Like you would need to go and look at section by section and look at the entire mobile before you're done, because now we have overlapping text here, and you'd have to just move it all around yourself. That can make it a lot more work. When you have something where it's built up very kind of modularly, where you have columns and rows, and everything just kind of moves in because they're all interchangeable blocks, that makes it allows you to actually design it once in one view and have good confidence. You're never going to be 100%. You should always look at your things in desktop, mobile, and tablet mode, but this is the downside of this design decision. As I look over here, this is a much bigger view now. And if I do the opposite test, you'll see how this one has now gone back to the desktop mode, and this guy has gone into the mobile mode. Okay, so now let's test the actual sign-up process by scrolling down, and let's sign up. And sure, to take my personal data. Okay, so the funnel is working. It sent me to my thank you page. And now if I click download it for free, it should take me over to incomesh.com. Very, very good. Okay, so it worked really well. I cannot fault it for its design decision because it's very easy to drag things around. It's not my preferred way to do things because I'm not a pixel perfect designer like that. But it's a good way to go. Let me go ahead and just wait a second and go into MailerLite and see if it added me to that group correctly on the first try. Okay, very cool. So I pulled in and hit refresh immediately into MailerLite, and I can see that within the group of what I call this group, Landingy test, which is the one that I just created for this example, I was added in immediately. It shows the date and time when I subscribed. And if I click into this is just a feature of MailerLite, which is great. You can see all the groups that I'm currently in, as well as my kind of timeline of when I added, when everything happened for me along the way. So one thing I wanted to cover before we close out and I gave you my final opinions about this page builder is I'm now in my WordPress dashboard and I search for Landingy in the plugins, and you can see here there is a Landingy landing page plugin. As we see here, not a lot of active installs, only one review. So we're going to go ahead and install this. Again, my first time doing this, and I can also see it was only updated 5 months ago. So a little bit nervous about giving this one a try, but we might just have to deactivate it if it's not working quite right. So I'll install, and what I want to see from this is to be able to make a page and import the landing page I just created using Landingy. That would give me the benefit of keeping my own domain on there. So let's go ahead and find this guy. Oh, here we go. So we have Landingy right here on the side. Okay, so set up your account first. Let's do that together. Paste your landing account API token here. What I'm going to do is pop over to Landingy. Where did I put it? So here we are in Landingy. Let's see if we can find this together. So if I go over to my account, is likely where it is. API tokens. I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and there's going to be an API token here. I'm going to take it, go over to WordPress, plug it in, hit save, and come right back to the video. Okay, so I updated the token. We're all good to go. And as soon as I updated it, I went over to available landings, and I can see here I already have the convert example landing page. So I'll import this, and I'm curious how this is going to work because there's also a split test running on this. So this is probably one of the more advanced ways of doing this. Okay, and so now you can see, look how cool this is. So now, just like a normal page, I have incomesh.com/convert example landing page. When I click on this guy, let's just kind of pay attention to what goes on up here at the top. Keeps my SSL, loads up the page. It looks like it's hosted on my blog, but in reality, it's hosted on Landingy, and I'm just pulling in the information. So very cool. So this is a good solution if you run WordPress, but you don't like using the WordPress page builders. So Landingy definitely has that going for it. I'm very, very happy to see that it has an import function into WordPress. That's something that I'm still a little bit upset with Kartra about personally, because I am a WordPress fan. I love it. It's great. And Kartra currently does not allow you to directly import and use your own URL unless you do some weird workarounds. So that's great. So now let's go ahead and wrap this up. Wrap up with my opinions about Landingy. So that's a first look at Landingy. My first impression is it is a super simple way to set up squeeze pages, landing pages, and integrate into your email autoresponder. It's going to be one of those where it's personal preferences. If you are like me, I grew up as an engineer. Like I'm not really a designer naturally. I prefer where I have a rigid structure, where I have, and it sounds like such an engineer, right? But I want to have columns and rows and just kind of work through the process like that. The idea of it dragging things around fluidly on the screen, it requires you to have an eye for it, right? Alignment is going to be on you physically aligning the tools. I'm sure there are some tools to help you with alignment and things like that, but Landingy is great for that specific subset of audience. Now, personally, I like to keep as much on my WordPress site and not use hosted solutions for everything, but that's also comes with its own risks and rewards. So if you're one who wants simplicity and you like design and you like having this, this chock full list of templates, I think Landingy is a solid option. It's not what I would recommend for myself. And if you're one of those who wants to be able to really have this integrated, tight feel where people are on your site and they're not bouncing back and forth, I would look more for one of the WordPress options, but Landingy is a solid one, and this is my honest first impression. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and click subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I release more videos like this. And as always, I'm John from IncomeMesh.com, helping you pick the perfect tool for your next project, and I'll see you guys on the next one.